Hey, welcome to this video. This is part 2 of the series creating our player dev helper or player dev assistant or what we want to call it. So let's just get back into it. So today we want to actually add the player to this list. So on login, what we're gonna do here is write PlayerList.add. And here we want to put in the data. So here we actually want to do, let me think for a second. Oh yeah, first off, we need to get the player EU ID. So the way you do this is write local. I'll just have mine be local. You don't need that, but I always do it. So local UID equals player colon, and let's see how we actually can get this new or this GUID. So let's write here GUID. Let's see, get lower, get. So we want to get the GUID low. We want the low part of it. And you see here, the low part, yes, we can, and this is under global. So this works for player and creature, as it says here. And what we get back is it returns the low GUID number. So let's head back in now, back here, and right here, colon, get GUID low. And now we have our GUID of player inside this value or variable, sorry. Go down here to the PlayerList.add. Here we actually want to do the GUID. Then we want to add the player object, so that's player. And then we want to add the dev counter. And dev counter, let's just say it would normally be 0 from start. Right now, we are doing this where it's just like a static number. And when the server or the player logs out, he loses the dev counter. The reason we're doing this is because we still need to, later on down the line in this series, we will create the database and load the data and save it. This is just setting everything up so the base of it is done. Then we can work on the database and giving the user gold and stuff every time they die. So that's basically all for now. We just add the player here. So I just write comments so people can always read it. Add player to the list. Now we have the player. So now under the logout, let's again get the GUID of player. Local GUID equals player colon get UID low. Now we have that. Then let's do if not player list GUID, then end. And in here, what we actually wanna do. Oh, sorry, my bad again. It's just if player list, because we don't want to check if it doesn't have it, then we don't want to do anything. We don't need that code. So if we actually have this player based on the GUID, then we want to remove him from the list. So we want to write player list dot remove, and we want to give it the GUID of the player to remove. So when this function is called, it removes this player from the list. Awesome. Now, what we want to do is go down here to onPlayer died. So when the player actually dies, we want to increase the the death counter. How we do that is, again, we go under and we get local GUID equals player get GUID low, store it in there. Then we go down here, we say PlayerList, and we say GUID and dot, and now we can access the death counter, and we set it equals to PlayerList GUID again dot death counter +1. So this will be, if this is 1, then we set it equals to the death counter. If this over here, if it's already, let's say 0, just to make it simple, if it's 0, then we set it equals to 0 + 1, so it would be 1. So if this is 10, then we set it death counter equals to 10 + 1, that's 11, and so on. So that's basically the way to do it. Let's add a comment, add into the death counter, and it's always recommended to make comments if you have a need for them. Right now I'm just adding them so everyone knows what we are doing. Get UID low. Yes. And now we can actually go ahead and test it if we want in game. A thing I would always recommend people do is actually use the print function for your server. And the print function is an amazing way to debug your server. So what we can do right now is that we can go ahead, and since we add the player here, we can say print and do like this. Then we can say player list, and we can go in, grab the player using the ID dot death counter. And if we go back to here, we can make a space and double quotes player GUID, and then here you write 2 dots. This means that we add this value to the string or to the message. So we can like end this line. Then we can, oh sorry, not you, sorry, death counter, oh my bad again, death counter, death counter on login. So this would be 0 because we set it to 0. So let's take this line, select it and click Ctrl+C, go back down to the death function and print and paste it in here on diet. Here we just get, it's still the same player. So let's say I go in as Sylian, my character is Sylian, and another character is called Bob. And if this function is called for when I log in, then it adds my character. So this is my character in this variable with my ID. Then if Bob logs in, then it adds a new character to the list with Bob in here and his ID. If I die, it uses my ID because this is what the event gives it. It gives it my player gets my ID. then it finds the character Sylian, which has this ID, the death counter, and increases the death counter. And then it posts the death counter here. Or it prints, sorry. So let's start the server up. So now that I've gone back in game and the server started up, let me just click enter world. Here you can see it says player death count on login 0. Awesome. Let's now go up here. This is just for me because I need to reset my level. Reset leveled. Okay. Just. Oh, okay. Level. Yeah, I've reset to level 1 now. Let's see if this death counter goes up when I die to a monster. Now, yeah, you can see player death counter on dead or on died. It's 1. So that works as expected. So let's just revive again here and then this. Well, let's go back into our script. Now that we have the player dying and it increases our counter, let's get started in the next video on creating the database table and then setting up the database calls. So if you enjoyed this video and learned something, please consider leaving a like and a subscribe, and leave a comment if you have any ideas on any other scripts you would like to see. That's all for today. See ya.